Hi guys, Mr. Welcome. I'm Ruben from Spyck-Hub.com, and today I'm here with my good friend Anthony, who's in
What's up, man?
Sunnyvale. Like again, like say that again.
Somerville, Massachusetts.
Okay, where apparently the sun has never appeared since the last 3 months, which is kind of ironic. Come on,
It's kind of.
No, but like, you want to like introduce yourself and your channel?
Yes. Okay. My name is Anthony Perez. I built. So basically, I'm studying international marketing in Holt International Business School in Boston.
Mm-hmm.
I've built a website called Book Success, which is basically the go-to hub for self-help and business books to discover them, to learn more whether the book should be something for you, whether you should read it or not, because that's what a lot of people don't know. They don't know which book they should read next. So booksuccess.com, I really try to create like the ultimate hub for self-help and business books.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a review-based website with reviews of self-help and business books. Besides that, I'm currently building my own personal brand, which is going into the process. I'm building my website now, so I'm going to talk about personal branding. So it's like a mix between marketing and personal development. Personal branding is the
thing that binds it together.
Sauce, yeah, that binds the two together. So yeah, that's me.
Okay, that's fucking. So the reason I had this interview was because I had a lot of people. I basically wrote a blog about like people recommending you books or movies, and you don't like you only have like 24 hours in a day.
Yeah.
And, like, how do you decide which to prioritize? Whether like because the thing is something. Let's say a book is really interesting, but that knowledge is not really applicable to you, or you don't even plan on using it.
Yeah.
So how do you? First of all, how do you choose what to ignore and what to pay attention to?
Good question, man. Yeah, that's actually a disease I consider very relevant because I used to do it myself. Like I used to just read books because I was reading books, you know. Like for me, it was
like gotta read more.
read books, you know. But then I became more picky. So I always try to look at a problem I'm facing right now. I'm going to give you a very clear example. I'm very bad at like networking. Like I'm an introvert. You probably know that as well. So I said to myself, okay, which books are out there that can help me become like a better socializer, you know? And I read Never Eat Alone by Keith Ferrazzi on that topic.
Yeah, I heard about it.
It's the Bible of modern networking. I love the book. It's really good. And it's really like these principles. It's also about like picking these principles and just applying them and become better at what you're actually naturally. It's so important to network, right? So especially if you're like here and you're in the fucking United States and you want to get a job. So yeah, I mean, it's basically it comes down to like Gary Vaynerchuk always says focus on your strengths, but it's also like you should also work on
you gotta fix like the holistic picture as well. Like if you know, dude, I read like. It's like I'm reading like 4 books about time management and like management, and it's like it's starting to work. I'm slowly getting there. No, but that's good.
What's your opinion on it? It's like how do you make that like that decision to because it's interesting for me as well to hear your story. Like
which books are information to read and not to read?
Yeah, like how do you make that decision? Like if it's relevant or not, it's gonna help you move forward.
Okay, so if a book is really, if it's a name I often hear, and then I try to ask people about, okay, so what did you get out of that book? And some people are really good at formulating that, and like I sometimes have the idea that some books are just popular because they're just been around for a long time. Like, I mean, 7 Habits of Successful People is good. But I feel like people just like read it and just like skim through it, and like I don't feel like a lot of people apply it. So I try to read books that when I ask them about it that
referrals.
Yeah, like immediate referrals. Yeah. And then the other thing is like, but that's basically the same as you said. Like if there's really like an area that I'm like really struggling with, or I have to.
think that's actually the ultimate, like if you're an author of a book and you have people recommend it to other people, that's actually the dream, you know, like.
Oh, dude, word of mouth beats everything. Dude. How uh how often do you have to say, because like I saw this one picture of you in like you passed a garage or something with all like a bunch of books and you like wrote, this has to be my garage. So
Yeah.
how often do you actually say no? How often do you actually like disregard something?
Wow. You mean, yeah, okay.
I mean, you know,
No
I
to,
know you have a book
no
channel.
to, no to
You,
activities in general, right?
sorry, what?
Like you mean say no to activities in general that are not.
Yeah,
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 man,
yeah, not specifically to books.
that's a huge thing. I'm very passionate actually about. I think it's very, very important to say no to. It's hard because we all know we're social beings, right? So we like to be part of the tribe. It's just in our DNA, and it's really like I'm gonna tell you, like everyone is wired differently, but some people just might want to drink on a Friday night with a whole bunch of people and not work on their long-term goals because they're satisfied with their office job, and that's fine for them, you know. So you can't judge those people. But the way I am is I'm not wired to work for someone else. So it's like I'm gonna live of myself. So I have to make hard decisions. So it's like
You can't allow every type of behavior, you know.
so I get the offer every single day at my school. We have a bar at my school as well. Like, hey, hang out with us, have some drinks with us, and I have to say no like every single day.
Mhm.
So it's
Yeah,
really
but, I
hard.
mean, not to gossip, but I always wonder, like, maybe alcohol is worse on me, but like, I always wonder how like students manage it. 'Cause I don't drink at all, like,
Yeah, I know.
barely, and so like, it's like how people can drink like every weekend and still get their exams is like I'm kind of impressed and like, wow. It's
But
so
it's true, man. It's true. Like, and some people, you know what? Some people are very smart and they just do random shit. Like, it's crazy. Like, I see the smartest people wasting their time. Like, but it's just how they are happy. Like, you can judge them.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah, and you know, especially if you're like, you know, if you're in the minority, you're like, you guys are all bad. It's like, yeah, just fuck off. Okay, but more, ha, uh, I know we talked about like saying no in general, but like, do you do it when like a friend recommends you a book or something and you don't have time? Do you do that, or do you just like put it on the waiting list? Or
yeah, man. I'm actually always like friendly to say, yeah, I'm gonna check it out later. But most of the time, I don't check. I mean, it's just
no,
your
it's just impossible. You must have like 40. Like right now, you check like your phone, you have like 40 fucking books.
so much like, hey, check out this book, check out this course. But at the end, I believe in the quote. At the end, you're gonna do what you're supposed to do. Like, you know, like it's really, like I said, it's really, it comes down to identifying what you're struggling with right now, and um, getting the books, getting the knowledge, and to like get you on the next level to accomplish your
Yeah.
goal. And I think like I'm gonna share it with you here. This book here, the 5 Minute Journal.
Mhm.
Have you ever heard of it?
I saw it on. I mean, I follow Book Success, of course. I saw it
Yeah.
before.
So
Is it like an actual notebook or?
so yeah, it's like a notebook, but it's really like it helps you. So you have to, and first thing in the morning, you write in this book, you say
Mhm.
2 things you're grateful about, followed by the 3 things that would today amazing, and then at night when the date is over, before you go to sleep, you say like 3 things, amazing thing that happened today, and one thing that could have made your day better. And
Mhm.
these are the kinds of things that keep you like on your track, you know, like without wasting
Focus.
your time at like random activities.
Yeah.
And another thing, man, like goal setting, man. Set your goals on a daily basis. Every day, write down your goals, what you want to accomplish. It gives you a roadmap of what you want to do, what you don't want to do, and
Yeah,
that's
dude.
as well.
Yeah. Yeah. If I don't do it, I just slack around, and I like. Uh, if I'm on, like, I'm sure you had that same moment, like when you're really focused and you're really on track. It's like it's kind of a wacky statement, but like time almost feels different. It's like, whoa, you're like really. I love that feeling. It's really good.
Momentum, like momentum is my drug, man.
Yeah, that's pretty important.
I, actually,
Do you?
I actually believe that. Like, I live for momentum. Like, not kidding.
Well, yeah. Did I just made me. Yeah, I don't like. It's so funny. I was like about to. Did you ever read The Power of Habit?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
It deals with that thing as well. It's pretty important.
Yeah.
Do you block time just for like reading or kind of like finding new information per week, or do you just like do it all over your free time?
Good question. So what I actually do is my readings are actually first thing in the morning. So when I wake up,
Oh,
yeah,
seriously?
yeah, actually I do.
Really
So
fun.
when I wake up, I feel very not refreshed. So the first thing I do is take a cold shower. That's always the first thing I do, and that wakes me up. And then I go sit.
At least it does.
Then I sit down and I take a book and I start reading like for an hour or something like that. And what is amazing about that? It's like your mind is very clear in the morning, because especially if there's like no food, like your blood is all here.
Yeah.
You can like really
Like your
concentrate.
stomach is not trying to like process the like pancakes and like
And yeah, I love reading in the morning. Actually, it's really good. It helps you, and it also like ideas will pop up in the morning, so you can write them down. You can already execute on those ideas that you have in the morning.
Yeah, but like, oh, this space right here.
Yeah, that's it. So reading in the morning is actually very powerful. Like during the day, man, like when I get home after school and when I already like did a lot of tasks, it's hard to like still read. So because your mental energy is wasted.
Yeah.
Also, right? Like it's
Yeah, and as well, you probably got like some, like not every day, but like sometimes you got like, oh, I still gotta finish this, or I gotta like text this person. So it's like your mind's more diverted. That's actually pretty smart, man.
Yeah.
That's because
Reading.
I usually read. I try to read at night, and sometimes it's like, sometimes I'm like good for 2 hours, and I'm like I love it. And then and other days it's just like like I fall asleep like after 15 minutes. I'm like,
Got it. Yeah. I mean,
I mean, it's not about the book. Like it's the same book, Like.
Yeah. But yeah, coming back to your question, it's normally like you said. Your question was, do you read in blocks? Yeah. I mean, normally I take like 1 hour to be really immersed in the process, because if you read like for 10 minutes, it's not really worth it. You didn't get really immersed into the book, so yeah, just 1 hour.
Cool. Yeah, I mean the last, you already kind of touched on the last question, but I found your answer pretty interesting. Is how do you actually implement and remember the things you read about?
One thing.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. I knew this was gonna happen. I was like, I swear,
No,
like,
man,
when I was writing this question down, it's like he's gonna take a marker or his pencil.
I think it's really important to be an active reader. So you take your pen, you take your marker, and whenever there's something that it's interesting, you just take notes. And sometimes I just apply like the information right away. Like for example, in Keith Ferrati's book, I read some interesting things about cold calling strangers, or cold emailing strangers, and I just like, fuck yeah, why just like send a cold email right now? Like it's
Send out some cold emails.
yeah. So yeah, just this one, like write down stuff. Some people are not really like I don't know, don't like to write, but yeah, I think it's also a personal matter. So
yeah.
What's your
like if something's really interesting, I like sometimes put notes. I don't do it often, like every 5 pages or something. And then lately I've been really getting into audiobooks, but it depends on like it's so because like I can listen to certain voice speakers and like yeah, it keeps my attention and I can actually like remember it. And some people are so monotone in their reading skill that I'm like,
yeah. I actually don't listen to audiobooks anymore. I don't know why.
no, oh no.
I don't know. I feel like I don't get a lot of them. Like I feel, yeah, I don't know. I'm in a process where I listen to music more like on the bus than audiobooks, because it's also like a way for me like to, I don't know.
Yeah, very nice. Like, cool. Yeah. Yeah, I sometimes prefer audiobooks, but like only when it's like for like what I call like manageable multitasking. So it's like cooking and like you know, it's like you can still do it and like your attention's there.
That's a gift, man. If I'm cooking, I can only cook.
Well, I didn't, you know, I didn't say anything about the result of the cooking.
Okay.
It's like the gift is brand.
I saw your pancakes. Yeah.
Those are awesome. Yeah, that's mostly it. It's what is actually do you read like a book a week or like, because I like, you know, I have like this like image that you probably like 10 books a day.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it depends. Like if I'm busy, I don't read I might not read a book for 2 weeks. Like
Yeah.
I try to read a book every 2 weeks, but it just depends on the project I'm onto. Like it's also, I think a lot of people, like I also had this in the past where I said I'm gonna read a book a week. If it doesn't happen, then I'm bad.
It's so relatable.
Like I used to tell myself that, but it depends, man. If you're working on something else, like fine, do that. If it's more important, then do that first. You don't have to like read the book if it's not directly related to your goals.
Whatever you're doing right now, yeah.
So I just love reading by nature. So I think it depends on the people, like the person you are and the project you're onto in your life, and yeah.
That's awesome. What are actually some of your current projects?
Right, like I told you, right now I'm setting up my website for my personal brand. So
Cool.
I actually want to like put out almost daily content, like either through blog and video formats, so YouTube and WordPress, just to build my personal brand, because I haven't really like dived really deep into it. I don't know how you perceive me right now. Is it more like the book success guy, or like it would be actually funny?
So I saw the thing is like so I pay a lot of attention to like people's Instagrams.
Yeah.
But like how they're like, because I like how they're like my Instagram is like terrible because there's no structure in it.
Yeah.
But I like how people like structure and like put the certain themes on their Instagrams.
Got it.
I know you do. I think I watched one video with like an interview you did with someone. It was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
But I do know you have a YouTube channel, but I didn't check out many of it, to be honest.
Okay, no worries.
I watched one interview. It was actually quite good, and yeah, like what is it? Do you put a lot of time in YouTube, or how's the?
Well, that's it, man. Like I started making YouTube videos for books, like around books related, because the YouTube channel was Book Success.
Yeah. So just like reviews about.
Yeah, but it was more like actually to learn about YouTube and to learn how to use SEO, to learn how to make thumbnails, all those things I learned now, and I can actually apply to my personal brand. So it's more like I still talk. I mean, I love talking about books, you know. So that's, I think I can always do that if I want to, but it's more like as a side thing than I want to make like my personal brand my hamburger, you know, like Gary Vaynerchuk talks about that. Like your hamburger and you have the side dishes. My hamburger is gonna be me, you know, like.
That's awesome. Yeah. No, that's definitely cool.
What about you, man? Like, what are you up to?
Right now, well, I'm just I like writing a lot. I started the blog and I was like, but I decided to like approach it a lot more realistic and a lot more slow. So I'm like, now I said, okay, I'm going to do 2 to 1 blog post a week about what's actually on my mind.
Yeah.
And the good thing about that is like, the thing I noticed is like, there was always things I'm always thinking about. And now that I kind of like published them, is like, it's like I have more like freed up space. I'm like, oh yeah, I actually already wrote that down and I have to think about it anymore. And so now I'm learning a bit of copywriting and I'm trying to like go to like local businesses and try to improve them. So
that's awesome.
But it's like, it's a very slow process. I quite like it, but it's a very slow process.
Yeah, I love it. Patience.
It's true, man. Yeah, no, that was it. It was, great talking to you. Great seeing you again.
Awesome, man. Okay.